Okay guys, it's now time for part 2 of my Warner Brothers DVD collection 2016 edition. And before we get started with this update, I got a DVD update coming soon, but I'm going to do it right after I get done with showing this collection. So without further ado, let's get started. And I have the first 5 Harry Potter films right here. Right here is the 2002 DVD, the first film, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. 2001 film. Many enchanting and mysterious adventures await you. This stars Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, Emma Watson, John Cleese, Robbie Coltrane, Warwick Davis, the late Richard Griffiths, Richard Harris, Ian Hart, John Hurt, the late great Alan Rickman, Fiona Shaw, Maggie Smith, and Julie Walters. Rated PG for some scary moments and mild language, and here's what the inside of the DVD case looks like. And it's 152 minutes. Here's disc 1, which has Harry Potter on it, and I do not have disc 2, I lost it, but there's a scene index on both sides. Yep. Right here I have the second film, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, 2002 film, 2003 DVD. Outmatches even its own predecessor with more action, humor, and thrills, says Claudia Pugh of USA Today. And same 3-star. The stars Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, Emma Watson, Kenneth Branagh, John Cleese, Robbie Coltrane, Warwick Davis, Richard Griffiths, Richard Harris, Jason Isaacs, Alan Rickman, Fiona Shaw, Maggie Smith, and Julie Walters. Rated PG for scary moments, some creature violence, and mild language. And inside of the DVD case, it's 161 minutes. And once again, I lost disc 2. But there's the scene index on both sides. Yep, pretty good sequel. And right here is the third film from 2004, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. This true kids classic is just as magical for adults, says Peter Rainer of New York Magazine. And I'm not really going to read off the cast because it's pretty much the same as the first two. Rated PG for frightening moments, creature violence, and mild language, and it's 142 minutes. There's the disc. There you go. Another good sequel. Next is the 2006 DVD of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, which is the fourth film. And the film itself is from 2005. Full screen edition. Terrific entertainment fueled with endless invention, says Roger Ebert of Ebert and Roper. Rated PG-13 for sequences of fantasy violence and frightening images, and it's 157 minutes. Here's the disc. Next is the 2007 DVD of the fifth film, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Sleek, swift, and exciting, says A.O. Scott of the New York Times. Rated PG-13 for sequences of fantasy violence and frightening images, and it's 139 minutes. Here's disc 1 with the movie, disc 2 which has the bonus features. And it's got a brochure for some Harry Potter merchandise, which I'll show you real quickly. And it also has this thing, how to get your digital copy of the movie. Yep. That's all the Harry Potter films I have. I still need to get the Half-Blood Prince and the Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2. Next is the 2010 repackaged DVD of Stephen King's It. The film itself is from 1990. The master of horror unleashes everything you were ever afraid of. Here's the spine and the back. Your every fear all in one, deadly enemy. And this stars Harry Anderson, Dennis Christopher, Richard Masur, Annette O'Toole, Tim Reed, John Ritter, and Richard Thomas. Also, Tim Curry, who plays Pennywise. Not rated, and it's 187 minutes. Here's the disc, currently on the first half of the movie, and the other side's the second half, because the movie's over 3 hours, but Stephen King's It's a pretty good movie. Pretty cool. And I've said this many times before, but there are a lot of people who think this movie's terrifying, but to me it's really not that scary. So, if you haven't seen this movie, I recommend you give it a watch either now or sometime around Halloween. It's based off of the book, so. Next is the 2002 DVD of Little Big League. The film itself was from 1994. 2 thumbs ups to Siskel and Ebert. Here's the spine in the back. Baseball is a funny game. Co-produced with Castle Rock Entertainment, and this stars Luke Edwards, Timothy Busfield, John Ashton, Ashley Crow, Kevin Dunn, and Jason Robards. Rated PG for some mild language and sensuality, and it's 119 minutes. There's the disc and the scene index, which has Billy Haywood on it, played by Luke Edwards. If you don't know who he is, he played on The Wizard as well. So, but Little Big League is a pretty funny sports movie. Recommend it if you haven't seen it. I especially like the part where Billy's in Boston and he's staying in the hotel room and he's watching a really dirty movie. And he watched it like several times during the night. Next is the 2010 repackaged DVD of Looney Tunes Back in Action with Brendan Fraser, Jenna Elfman, and Steve Martin. Remember seeing this in theaters. 2 thumbs up to Ebert and Roper, and this is actually the 2004 DVD. And this also stars Timothy Dalton, Joan Cusack, and Heather Locklear, as well as the Looney Tunes. Rated PG for some mild language and innuendo, and it's 92 minutes. Directed by Joe Dante. There's the disc. Now, the case says it's the standard version, but this is actually the widescreen version, but everybody makes mistakes, and widescreen's better than full screen anyway. But still, pretty good movie. It combines live action and animation for the Looney Tunes like they did for Space Jam. Next is the 1999 DVD of Mickey Blue Eyes with Hugh Grant, James Caan, and Gene Triplehorn. They've created a mobster. This is another movie co-produced with Castle Rock Entertainment. 4 stars, one of the year's funniest comedies, says Jeff Craig, a 60-second preview. This also stars Burt Young, James Fox, and Joe Vitarelli. Rated PG-13 for brief, strong language, some violence and sensuality, and it's 102 minutes. There's the disc, currently on the full screen side, and there's the scene index. This movie's supposed to be about gangsters, so pretty odd. Next is the 2005 DVD, I think, of NASCAR The IMAX Experience. A thrill a minute not to be missed, says Automobile Magazine. This is from the 2004 film. Intoxicating thrill, says Kevin Thomas of the Los Angeles Times. This is narrated by Kiefer Sutherland, and this is basically an IMAX documentary that teaches you all about the sport of NASCAR and how everything works. Excuse me. Rated PG for some crash scenes, and it's 48 minutes. Here's the disc. Yep. Awesome documentary about an awesome sport. Next is the 2010 repackaged DVD of National Lampoon's European Vacation, which is a 1985 film with Chevy Chase. This is the sequel to National Lampoon's Vacation, which I'll show next. A silly, funny sequel, says Richard Freeman of Newhouse Newspapers. Directed by Amy Heckerling, who directed Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Rated PG-13, it's 94 minutes, and this also stars Beverly D'Angelo, Dana Hill, Jason Lively, Victor Lennox as the thief, and Eric Idle as the bike rider. This is actually the 2002 DVD. There's the disc. Yep. This sequel's pretty good, but I gotta go with the original. Next up is the 2010 repackaged DVD of National Lampoon's Vacation, which is the first film. Stars Chevy Chase. This is actually the 2003 20th Anniversary Edition DVD. Chevy's at the wheel and all roads lead to laughter. And this also stars Beverly D'Angelo, Imogene Coca, Randy Quaid, John Candy, and Christy Brinkley. Rated R, and it's 99 minutes. There's the disc, which has the Griswold family on it, as well as Aunt Edna and the dog. But still, if you haven't seen this movie, you've been under a rock. Been under a rock if you haven't seen that movie. Next is the 2008 repackaged DVD of The Outsiders, directed by Francis Ford Coppola, based off of the novel. They grew up on the outside of society. They weren't looking for a fight, they were looking to belong. The film itself was from 1983. This is actually the 1999 DVD because Warner Brothers has a knack for taking their old DVDs and repackaging them. And it stars C. Thomas Howell, Matt Dillon, Ralph Macchio, Patrick Swayze, Rob Lowe, Diane Lane, Emilio Estevez, Tom Cruise, Leif Garrett, and a few others. Rated PG, and it's 91 minutes. There's the disc currently on the full screen side. And yeah, this is a really good movie. Recommend it. Next is the 2005 DVD of Plan B with Diane Keaton and Paul Sorvino, the widescreen edition. Ready, Fire, Aim. Not necessarily in that order. And this also stars Maury Chaykin, Bob Balaban, Burt Young, and Natasha Lyonne. The Wacky and the Whacked. Rated R for language, and it's 100 minutes. The film itself is from 2001. There's the disc. Now, I haven't seen the whole thing of this movie yet, but it did look really funny from what I saw, so I have to give it a watch soon. The whole thing, that is. Next is the 2008 DVD of The Polar Express in 3D. This is a 2004 film. Stars Tom Hanks. Two enthusiastic thumbs way up, says Ebert and Roper. This is also co-produced with Castle Rock Entertainment as well as a bunch of other studios. Rated G, and it's 100 minutes. Here are the 3D glasses. And here's disc 1 with the movie in 2D. Disc 2, which has the movie in 3D. And it has some viewing tips on here, as well as an ad for other Christmas films from Warner Brothers and New Line Cinema. But Polar Express, awesome Christmas movie. Alright, I'm gonna show you one more DVD and then we'll stop for this part. And that is the 2009 repackaged DVD of Scooby-Doo, 2002 film. Live action movie based off of the classic TV show. Stars Freddie Prinze Jr., Sarah Michelle Gellar, Matthew Lillard, Linda Cardellini, and Rowan Atkinson. Rated PG for some rude humor, language, and some scary action, and it's 86 minutes. There's the disc. This is a pretty funny movie. Recommend it. Alright, we're going to stop here for part 2 of my Warner Brothers DVD Collection 2016 edition, and I'll see you guys in part 3 coming up next.